Hello, and welcome to the Muses Lab, your destination for all things spiritual, sensual, and pleasurable. Here, I explore the nuances of our human experience, connect with practitioners to support your glow up, and share my lessons and blessings as perspective to move you closer to alignment and self-empowerment. I invite you to join me on this adventure of discovery, and hope what you receive inspires you to become the muse of your life's journey. So without further ado, let's explore. Hello, and welcome to the Muses Lab podcast. It's your girl, Siobhan L. And I know it's been a minute since I have been here, but I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I got a regular full-time job, and because I had to, it's not necessarily whether I wanted to or not, like I had to. I talk about what I experienced for like a year up until the time of the recording of this podcast is in April 2025, and in March 2025 I finally came out of my 17-month unemployment slump and was hired for a job that I do very well. If I'm gonna keep it a buck. If I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, like, it's a job that I do very well. So I've been just trying to balance out my life with coming back or recalibrating, getting back into being in a corporate setting and commuting, because I commute to work. I don't commute to work every day because I physically do not have the capacity to do that, but I do commute to work. So keeping that in mind and adjusting to my new normal and finding my balance with still being a creative practitioner, all the things that mean something to me and things that I want to keep up and not let fall by the wayside, because now all of my energy is being placed into this corporate work. So that's why y'all haven't heard from me, on top of the fact that in between seasons I take a couple weeks off to plan, which honestly never happens. I always have the intention to plan and pre-record a lot of at least about 70% of the episodes that I want to do for a season. And I have yet to achieve that goal. So what I am learning in my seasonedness is to remove certain expectations that I've created for myself, because until I said that, y'all didn't know how the hell I was doing these damn episodes. So I'm going to remove these unrealistic expectations from myself. And yes, I will, for me anyway. I mean, I'm just sharing it with y'all, but for me, I will pre-plan my episodes, or my topics, I should say. I'll pre-plan my topics, but I'm not going to pressure myself to have all of this buttoned up the way I probably should have it. I'm just not going to pressure myself to do that, because then that takes the fun out of podcasting. And podcasting is fun for me. Finally, it took me years to get here, but I love creating this podcast. I love sharing my thoughts. I love connecting with other people and sharing that with the community that's continuing to grow. So this is fun for me. This is play for me. And the moment I take things that are fun and playful for me and try to corporatize them, I fuck it up. So I don't want to fuck this up. I don't want to take the excitement and the fun and the creativity that having this podcast does for me and what it gives me. So I will structure this as much as I can, but I'm still gonna kind of freestyle, because I'm a Sag rising, and that's what the fuck we do. We freestyle shit. So there's that. Also, before I get into the actual topic, also, I got new headphones, and those of you who are staunch listeners of this podcast and have been listening to this podcast from day one, you have seen the progression of the production of the podcast in itself. And I appreciate you riding with me as I continue to grow and get better at creating quality episodes, quality sound, audio pleasure, as I like to call it, and continue to build this medium for myself. So I got new headphones, and I've always seen people have their headphones plugged into the mic, and not to say that I questioned how it worked, but I just never knew how big of a difference this is. Life changing. This is life changing. I can hear myself, like I can literally hear my voice, which allows me to adjust accordingly because I can hear myself. And when I first I did a test recording before I started this episode. And before I started recording, I hearing myself in my ear was like fucking me up for a little bit. And it's crazy how it was fucking me up because I'm clairaudient. So whether or not you're new to this podcast, I identify as a psychic medium. And one of my gifts as a clairvoyant is being clairaudient, which means I can hear spirit in my ear. So for me to be clairaudient and hear spirits in my ear, period, and then be jarred by hearing my own voice in my ear is wild. That the irony of that was just a wild experience, but it was very fascinating because I was like, oh shit, I can hear myself. So of course, for the foreseeable future, my headphones will be plugged into this mic because this is top tier. I totally get it. For all the professional podcasters, I totally get why your headphones are plugged into your mic, because this is quality. It's quality sound. This is just quality, point blank, in the period. So that's my rant. I don't normally rant too much, but that's my rant for this episode. Now we move into my actual topic for this episode. So I had already been wanting to start recording again and putting out content again. And I knew that I was going to start again. But what inspired me to move a little bit quicker in my step is someone liked a post that I created a year ago, almost a year to the day, where I said it might be time to share how ADHD makes dating a chore for me. And I said I need to know what we doing. That whole just let it happen organically actually doesn't sit well for me at all. I need a focus, and that makes dating feel contrived. And I started to make it. Now, this was on Threads. So I started to make it a thread post, and I was like, nah, this needs to be a podcast. And I totally, in true ADHD fashion, I totally posted that, responded to a few comments, and then life went on, and I totally forgot until somebody liked that post just recently. And I was like, what is this? And the way Threads is set up, sometimes someone will like a comment under your original post. And the way the conversation flows, you got to kind of track what they're engaging with. But that was actually something I wrote. And I was like, oh shit, I wrote this. I have those moments quite often than not, because when I'm writing, it's a very meditative, spiritual, actually. I actually never talk about that, but it's actually a very meditative and spiritual practice for me when I'm writing. I'm very much in a zone. I'm very much channeling, whether it is my higher self or other spirits that are in my spiritual court who are providing me with information or inspiring me or giving me language and lexicon to create as I'm writing, that is a very spiritual, ritualistic practice for me to write. So I often don't remember what I write, or I'm fascinated by the things that I write because sometimes I don't recognize that I speak like that, or that these words and phrases and organization of ideas can come from me. Sometimes I'm amazed at what I say because writing is such a ritualistic practice for me. Whether I'm writing caption copy on social media, whether it is a blog post, whether it is a story, whatever the pieces are, even journaling, whatever the pieces are, writing is a very ritualistic practice in which I channel and I zone out. So I often don't recall the headspace that I'm even in when I'm writing. So when I read that post, I was like, oh shit, I wrote this. Well, I said this needs to be a podcast episode. Let me get back on my job. I mean, a year, it doesn't matter. I feel like, or I'm learning, I should say, I'm learning that it doesn't matter when I say I'm going to do things, unless it has a true sense of urgency. If it's something creative, it does not matter when I say that I'm going to do it as long as I do it, as long as I come back to it and I don't let the idea, the thought, the inspiration lay in waste. I'm learning to be comfortable with that and not put timelines on things that don't necessarily need a timeline. So here I am talking about dating with ADHD. And what's funny is that I'm not dating at all. Not because I don't want to date. It's really because I haven't been outside. I haven't been outside, one, because I just told you I was unemployed for 17 months. So clearly I couldn't afford to go outside because I had no money. So I just wasn't outside. But even prior to my space of transition, I should say, even prior to that, I wasn't outside in that way because I was just tired. I was tired from work. I was commuting a lot more than I am now. And what a lot of what a lot of employers don't realize is that as employees, we only get paid for 8 hours, but we spend 10 hours of our day dedicated to a job. And that's our morning process of getting up, washing our ass, getting ourselves together, breakfast, packing a bag, getting dressed, all of those things, commuting. Some of us have hour commutes, 90-minute commutes. There's some people who commute 2 hours to work. From 20 minutes to 2 hours, that time is spent under the umbrella of employment. And that's just going one way. That's not talking about the round trip. And if you are driving to work, depending on traffic, it might be longer than however long it took you to get there in the morning. Traffic coming back is usually more congested than it is going to. So you have all of these different variables surrounded by work. And I'm thinking about that TikTok post that somebody did, like, I gotta I gotta eat properly, I gotta exercise, I gotta go to work, I gotta date but not do too much. You have all these variables and I still gotta pay bills. When do you have time? When do you have time to be an adult? None of us signed up for this. Is I'm an elder millennial, so we didn't sign up for this shit. We were bamboozled with adulthood because I don't know how my mother has fucking survived this this entire time. My mother been on this planet almost 64 years. I do not know how she has fucking survived this long with all the ups and downs and shit. Like, my mother's a Jim Crow baby. Like, she grew up in Jim Crow North, right? And I'm in Jersey, which is the south of the north. So she grew up in Jim Crow. Like, I don't know how she has able to transition through all these generational shifts and changes and things of that nature. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she adulted. I don't know how she raised me by herself, essentially. I didn't originally grow up in a single home, but I'm a product of divorce, and by way of that became in a single parent home. Like, I don't know how my mother did this shit, because just trying to care for myself is the greatest challenge I have ever taken on. This shit is wild. So all of that, and trying to open myself, keep myself open for romance, is exhausting. It is exhausting. There is pee in the dating pool. Totally did a podcast episode on that. That's what, season 2. I think that's season 2, episode 3. Pee in the dating pool, right? We all know that single people know that there is pee in the dating pool. And I'm a Black woman who, yes, I identify as being bisexual. However, I am dick adjacent. So and me identifying as bisexual is not necessarily me physically dating someone. It's me recognizing that I have an attraction to women, and I think women are beautiful. Um, and I love being in company with women, and I love being in friendship and in sisterhood with women. And I would totally date a woman, particularly someone who's a touch me not. I would totally date a woman, and I probably could live a nice, fruitful life with women. But for me, in this lifetime, is penis. So this is where we at, right? That's a whole nother layered conversation within itself. But here I am, bisexual but dating men, right? And we all see the conversations that are on the interwebs. We all have been seeing old school videos of folks having the same conversation over the last 40, 50 years. And I understand that the interwebs is its own ecosystem within itself, and that in order to find what is outside of what people are liking and sharing and commenting on social media, I have to meet people in person somehow. I have to step outside of the relationship conversation bubble. Like, I have to step outside of that. However, I have over time had conversation with men, just in general, not under the guise of romance or what have you. And even in real life, some of these niggas, I don't, I just, it becomes, it becomes so daunting trying to navigate the dating world as a single woman, particularly someone who is in the straight side of the pool. Y'all don't know how much I ask my divine court, like, why can't I just be, uh, why can't I just be lesbian? Like, I don't understand. And not to say that queer folks don't have relationship issues, because they do. We all, regardless of what sexual identity we have, all of us are having challenges in relationships. Every single last one of us, whether we're straight, we identify as queer, lesbian, however, we are all having challenges, because niggas is humans. All the humans are having challenges. What I recognize is that in queer relationships, they are not navigating the same type of roadblocks as folks are in straight relationships. That is what I'm noticing. Each of our individual issues are slightly different, and navigating the the straight side of the pool is navigating the straight side of the pool is wild. And I am just trying to understand, like, what what is it, who taught men these things? Where did they get this information from? What is happening in these barbershop conversations, in the male group chats, in the straight male group chats? Like, what is really happening? Because I don't understand how there is such a disconnect between what regular human ass people should be doing in relationships and what these niggas is doing. the gap the gap to be bridged is far and wide. So you have this landscape of what straight women, or just women in general, are dealing with dating those who date men. So you can be bisexual, you can be straight, what have you, but those who date cisgendered men. Let me shape this conversation. For those who date cisgendered men, I want to set the landscape that we are already dealing with bullshit. Race aside, now you add having ADHD or just being neurodivergent, period. So not only are we dating cisgender men with a mindset that is Neanderthalish, this old school misogynoir, misogynistic, antiquated thought processes on how relationships should be navigated, how dating should be navigated. You have enough a collective of men who have that thought process. So you're navigating this as a person who is dating cisgender heterosexual men. So you're already coming in with like demerits. And not you having the demerit, but like you coming in with roadblocks already. You already have things that you have to navigate in just a basic landscape. And then you layer neurodivergence on top of that, and it's like hell. It's hell. Because I will speak to my own experience. Even just having platonic male friends, platonic straight male friends is challenging, because in their mind, they're like, oh, that's the homie. So let me hit up my homie and like, hey, come meet me here. Hey, come meet me there. Hey, come do this. Hey, what you doing right now? Can you show up here? No, actually, I cannot, because 90% of the time I'm butt ass naked. I'm butt ass naked in my house with some layer of cotton covering my body because I'm home. So I'm free balling at home, of course. I'm lounging around because this is a weekend and I work all fucking week. So I'm lounging around trying to regain some semblance of rest in my life before I have to turn around in 48 hours and do this grind all over again, which I'm not complaining about because I chose this. So I'm trying to create a semblance of life work balance with this new normal that I've created for myself. So I'm relaxing. You don't give me details about what it is, just, oh, come meet me here. What is the landscape like? Is there food? Am I going to be standing? Who all going to be there? I need these details. So you don't get those details. And then it's like, oh, meet me here in 20 minutes. What do you think I'm doing in 20 minutes, my guy? You think I'm getting dressed in 20 minutes? That's not happening. I have to set timers in order for me to leave my house on time. No one, and isn't even just men. Neurotypical people have no clue the amount of planning it takes for a motherfucker to leave the house who got ADHD, autism, or wherever you are in the neurodivergent spectrum. Motherfuckers don't realize how long it takes for you to leave the house. Like there's pre-planning that has to occur in order for us to step outside the fucking house. And it boggles my mind that folks who are neurotypical, who outwardly know that they have neurodivergent friends, they don't connect them dots. They don't connect the dots. It's not coming together. And that often frustrates me. It frustrates me because if we are in friendship together and you know that I have these struggles, the expectation for me to meet this neurotypical state of movement, knowing that I have challenges, or any of us have challenges with just navigating life in itself, is insulting. It's insulting. Like, how are you really my friend if you are not recognizing that I need advance notice in order for me to leave my house? In order for me to go out on a Saturday, let's say I'm gonna put out a date. I'm not looking at a calendar, but I'm gonna put out a date. If you want me to go out on April 30th, which in the year of 2025, April 30th is a Wednesday. You want me to show up somewhere on April 30th, you had to have told me 2 weeks ago that I was going somewhere on April 30th. I need to have put that shit in my calendar. I need to have the details. Where am I going? What time? From what potential time am I going to be outside? What type of environment is this? Is there going to be food? Am I going to be dancing? How many people are expected to be? Is this a restaurant? Is this a hall space? I need to know those details because that determines how I'm going to dress, how much time I need to give myself to get dressed, if I need to pay a toll to get there because I live in the state of New Jersey and all we got in this motherfucker is tolls. Do I have to pay a toll to get there? I got to GPS myself. What is a menu if there's food involved? I have to have all of that pre-planned before I even start to get dressed on April 30th. If I don't have logistical details before I go somewhere, I ain't going. And I know for some people that would make someone like me not a fun person to be around because spontaneity is very challenging for me. Also, I live in a 5-flight walk up. I live in an attic apartment, attic suite, if you will. I have to walk up 5 flights of steps to get in and out of my apartment. So if I'm going to come down these steps, I have to do it with intention. I cannot randomly, there are some exceptions to that rule, but I cannot always randomly grab something and put it on because you know what? You tell me to be somewhere in 20 minutes, you know how you're going to see me with sweatpants and some sneaks. That's what I'm going to have on. I got a lot of cute little jogging outfits, crop hoodies with the matching joggers. I got a whole bunch of those. That's what the fuck I'm going to put on because that's what I can gather in 20 minutes. That's what I can do in 20 minutes. So it's like, the pre-planning stage for me having to go outside is very crucial because there's so many variables that I have to have in place. Like I said, I have timers. I have to have timers in order for me to just to get out of the house. I have to have an alarm set up to wake up on time. And I have to give myself a 2-hour window because I have time blindness. I have time blindness, but I also hyper focus and I become very distant from time. There are places in my apartment where if I close the door, I'm in a bubble and time doesn't even exist. That is the life of a neurodivergent person. That's the life of somebody living with ADHD. I am both hyperactive and intensive. I am not one or the other. I am both. I don't know how many of us are both, but I'm part of the crew who is both. So I have to create spaces of accessibility around my daily life, around getting dressed, around going outside, showing up, working from home. Like I have to create routines for myself. And if anything goes against the routine without me being able to properly pivot, I'm going to spiral. It doesn't matter if I'm on meds because I'm on them. I'm on meds. I could be on weed too. It doesn't matter what things I'm taking and I'm using to help manage my symptoms. If anything breaks routine and I don't have the time to shift properly, I'm going to spiral. So when my male friends in particular hit me up randomly and like, hey, come meet me here. You what you got going on? I'm home, my nigga. What you mean what I got going? I'm home. You don't know me by now. I don't be outside unless I need to be outside. I'm outside with intention. If I don't necessarily need to be outside, I'm not outside. You know why? Because outside costs money. It costs money to be outside. Gas is not the way it was when I first started driving. I'm a late bloomer driver, so I've only been driving for 21 years, right? That's less than a lot of my friends. Most of my friends have been driving for at least 30 years, right? I've only been driving for 21 years. I could tell you the day I got my license, it was snow on the ground. It was a January 2004 actually. January 2004 is when I got my license. So that's 21 years ago. Gas then, when I had a car, was $1.50 per gallon. I don't know if we're ever going to see I don't think I'm ever going to see that gas price in my lifetime ever again. My nephew is not going to see. I don't even think he's ever going to see that gas price. I don't even know if we're going to even have gas cars by the time he's able to drive. I don't know what type of, I see where we're going. I don't know if that's going to last because shit is continuing to evolve. So I don't know if any of us are going to ever see gas prices be $1.50. A gas at $2 is like, wow, that's amazing. I don't even know we're going to see $2 worth of gas, let alone 2.50, right? So when I was driving, gas was $1.50. Now gas is like fucking $3. So even just to ride around and kick it, that costs money. The quality of gas is not even the same as it was 10 years ago, let alone 20 years ago. So you put like $20 worth of gas in your car, depending on the type of gas you utilize and the station and who's managing the station, you might burn that gas in like 10 minutes. So it costs money to be outside. So I'm not outside without intention. If I'm outside, it's because I want to be outside or I need to be outside. I'm not just randomly outside. I used to be able to do that in my younger years. I don't have the capacity to do that right now. Just to be driving around wasting gas, that's not economically sound. It's not financially sound, it's not economically sound. So that puts a monkey wrench for me in a lot of things because I'm not so ready to go or get up and go the way most men are. And I take my cues from my male friends. And I recognize that a lot of men in general who I would be interested in have that same type of energy. And it gives me pause. Not to say that I can't respond to the men that I may have romantic interest in the same way I would my platonic friends, but for me, I like to navigate those relationships a little different with a little bit more compassion because I don't want them to feel like they're the homie because they're not. Because it's a little deeper than that for me, right? So it gives me pause because if they're moving the same way, then I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond where now I'm losing their interest or I'm not as attractive or now they feel like I'm making excuses for everything. And that becomes a problem for me because we're not in flow. And it's important for me whoever I'm dating to be in flow with. And we're not going to get it right all the time. And everybody is not for me. I'm aware of that. But I think for me, it's the apprehension of going through this process of dating or attempting to date someone. And because I kind of have all these rules of engagement just around my life to make it as accessible to me as possible, that may be a turnoff for a lot of men. And yes, I know the right man to come along, blah, blah, blah. I know that. I'm aware. What I'm being vulnerable about and being transparent about is my apprehension or even a bit of a fear of how that's going to elongate the time of me connecting with someone who will hold space for me or make space for me. And my fear of, as I said in my post, dating becoming contrived because I don't want that. But I do need someone to understand that I need advance notice or if I don't get advance notice, I need grace that it's going to take me a little longer because I like to look a certain way. I'm a Leo sun. I like to look a certain way. And if I don't have time to pre plan, that means I didn't look in my closet in advance to see what options I had. And it's going to take me longer to figure things out because I also got a little belly. So I got to make sure me and my belly are comfortable in our clothes. And right now, I'm in between sizes. And being in between sizes is very difficult, particularly if you're someone like me who has always had some insecurities with weight. So I have a lot of variables with me that I'm navigating and I'm learning to become comfortable with. So as I am doing this work, I am slowly trying to reintroduce myself back into society, but I am doing it with fears and apprehensions. I haven't even had this conversation with my therapist yet, probably next week. That's the conversation me and my therapist need to have. We've been talking about everything else. We need to have this conversation because I want to date. And knowing that I have all of these things that come with me, I I want to learn how to express those things when I'm having conversations with people of interest. I want to have the right language to be able to express myself. I want to be able to be discerning and introduce certain things that allow me to weed out who I know will be gracious to me and those who will be assholes to me. I just want to be able to navigate this landscape with a little bit more confidence than what I have, despite the fact that I know that I have disabilities and other challenges. Despite all of that, I still want to be able to navigate this with confidence and not feel defeated every time I kiss a prince and it's a frog. Because I mean, we can empower ourselves is to the hills till we're blue in the face, but it doesn't take away the fact that we are emotional creatures and we can be disappointed because we're human beings, right? I'm not trying to be a superhero. I have tried to posture myself as a superhero and that's just like ridiculous. Despite how ethereal I believe that I am and how mythical and magical and goddess like I am a human having a human experience. Like I'm in human skin and navigating in this human body with these human emotions. I'm going to feel things. And I believe it's brave for me to say that I am fearful of constantly meeting disappointment with trying to navigate romantic relationships with straight men who have a lot of expectations that are unrealistic. I am already decentralizing the unrealistic expectations that I already have for myself. So while I am deprioritizing all these unrealistic expectations, now I have to navigate your unrealistic expectations. That's not helping me. That's making me want to go in my shell and isolate. And I am doing everything that I possibly can to not do that because it's very natural for me to be like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and just not do nothing. Or be sitting at the bar, have flirty banter, and be like over it because I'm not interested because I don't even know if this flirty banter that you're giving me is just a window treatment that's hiding who you are behind the curtain. And I get to pull back the curtain and see the window and be like, who the fuck is this person? Who are you? Because you were not the person that I was doing this flirty back and forth banter with. I I want to feel confident in myself that as I navigate this journey with having ADHD, knowing that how I navigate relationships is a lot more special than most people. Even how I communicate, even how I be in my head, creating stories that don't exist, even how I be isolating myself for no apparent reason, how I be in my own bubble, how I forget to share things with people because I'm so concentrated on trying to fix things myself that I forget to invite people in to help and support me. I want to still feel confident that despite me working through these challenges, which I doubt I will completely erase from my personality, my makeup, but mitigating them and reducing as much harm to myself, navigating these different types of personality traits and qualities and idiosyncrasies that I have. I still want to feel confident that someone will like me. I'm going to be brave and say that. I want to be liked. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. Low key, I want to be worshipped. Low key, I want to have a devotee. Like I want to be in company with someone. I want to be in like with someone. And I do not want the fact that I have ADHD and stage 4 endometriosis, if we're going to lump it all together, and stage 4 endometriosis. I do not want the fact that I have a chronic illness and a mental disability to stop me from having love, from experiencing love, from being loved. More than just liked. Like is tolerable. I want someone to do more than like me. I want someone to do more than just tolerate me. I want someone to love me. I want someone to be in love with me, and I want to be in love with someone else. I want to be in love. I want to be in love. I want to date. I want to have companionship. I want to have vacations and cuddle and all those things. Like, I want to experience that. I crave that. I desire that. I want that. Do I need it? Really? I wouldn't say I need it. I'm not desperate for it. I desire it though. I want it. I want that. And I typically get what I want. But I want that. And I'm putting it out, not just into the universe now, but really to the interwebs. Like I'm putting it out there that this is the energy that I want. I want someone who is going to be in a space of reciprocity, who is going to be understanding, who is going to be compassionate, who is going to be loving, who is going to be gentle, but also firm. I, like Jill said, you can't tell me what to do if you can't tell me what to do. Like you could tell me what to do if you could tell me what to do. You can. You gotta be able to tell me what to do. You gotta be sure of yourself. And this isn't to say that you have to have it all together, because I ain't got it all together. But you have to be at best a work in progress. I think we're all under construction. I think we're all a work in process. If anyone is telling you that they're completely healed, they lied. Stop listening to these new age spiritualists. You are not completely healed. You are not completely healed until you have completed your dash. That's when you've healed. We're in an ongoing healing process. Healing isn't linear. There are levels. You might have healed from level 1. Shout out to you. Most people don't make it to level 1. Most people don't make it to level 2. So if you're on level 2, shout out to you. Great job. You are doing the work. But I would prefer someone who is self-aware, self-effacing in some way, self-aware, understands that they are a work in progress and there are things that they need to balance, have harmony in, but also they're confident on the things that they have done the work. And the work looks different for all of us. But I need someone who understands that there is work and that it needs to get done and that they are in the process of doing it. Because I have, even though I'm talking about the challenges that I have navigating chronic illness and cognitive disability, even in the midst of that, there is so much work that I have done to get to this place, to even get to not just to identify with being bisexual, but even to identify with the fact that I want to be in relationship with somebody. Just to get here, to admit that my heart desires romance and pleasure and bomb ass sex and gentleness and cuddles and firmness, admitting that I like that shit. I like when a motherfucker can tell me what to do. I'ma shut up. I'm feisty and spicy, but if you know what you talking about, I'ma shut the fuck up. I ain't gonna hold you. If you know what the fuck is, I'ma shut them up and I'ma go sit down. But you got to know. You got to know what you're doing in order to be able to assert yourself in that. Like I could give you license to do that. I can expand it and expend the license for you to do that. But you got to know what the fuck you doing. You can't just be talking and not saying nothing. You can't just be talking and ain't saying shit. You got to know what the fuck you talking about in order for you to be able to assert yourself with me that way. And I don't identify as a type A person. I just know that I have a very strong personality. I'm a vigilant person. I'm high functioning. I'm very high functioning. I have mouth on me. I know my shit be crazy. I know my language and my lexicon be crazy. I know I got a little feisty attitude. I got spice in me. I know that about myself. I'm very aware of who I am and my personality. As someone who is trying to court me, as someone who is trying to be in romantic company with me, you have to be strong within yourself, right? This isn't just you like, oh, I'm a strong guy. It's not just that. You have to be self-assured to be fucking with me. I'm not gonna hold you. You can't be an insecure man, like overly insecure. We all have insecurities, right? Let's set the foundation. We all have insecurities within ourselves. Some of us have a lot of deeper insecurities. Some of them are surface, some of them are deeper, right? It's one thing as a human being have your insecurities, but to live in a space of insecurity so much to where if someone speaks to me, you thinking we fucking, that's not gonna work. Mm-mm. Or I'm hanging out with my girls and you thinking I'm using my girls as an excuse to go fuck with some dude, we ain't gonna work. Cause I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash the fuck out. I'm gonna go off. And this is gonna end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like that's it. So as a masculine person, you need to have assurance within yourself. You need to have control of your insecurities. Acknowledge what they are, but you need to have control of your insecurities and be able to acknowledge when those insecurities are informing something for you. You have to be able to have that. And if you do not have that, if you come to me without the baseline, it's not going to work. Because I ain't going to let a motherfucker run me. I'm just not. I'm too seasoned in my life to allow that to happen. So, knowing all of those things, I still want to invite romance in. Even though I'm scared. Even though I don't know how this is all going to look for me, I still want to invite romance in because I believe I deserve that. We all do. But for me, I believe I deserve that and I want it. So, yeah. That feels good. I'm glad I got that out. I'm glad I shared that. And maybe some of you can relate. The comments are, if you're on Spotify, the comments are always on. I don't know why Apple don't have comments, but Even if you're on Apple, if you're listening to the podcast on Apple and you follow the Muses Lab, at the Muses Lab, don't forget the S, at the Muses Lab, DM me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Threads. I am not on the letter app. Sorry, friends. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Threads. I'm definitely on TikTok. I haven't been on there as much, but you can always message me on TikTok. You can message me on Instagram. You can tag me in Threads. Whatever conversations that you all are having in your group chats, definitely tag me and those things and let me know if this is relatable to you. If this is felt, if you feel seen, not even just if it's relatable to you, but if you feel seen, let me know if you feel seen. And if there's anything within what I discussed that you would like for me to elaborate on, let me know that too. And that could be a podcast episode. And then I'll just shout you out for giving me more topics to talk about. Yeah, this is good. Thank you all for tapping into the Muses Lab podcast. Until we meet again. Thank you for tapping into the Muses Lab. I hope you enjoyed this week's adventure. Be sure to like this episode, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, and share the wealth with others. Sign up for my newsletter and join the TML community at www.themuseslab.com. Receive weekly musings, early access, and exclusive drops, as well as discounts on products and services. Thank you once again for tapping in, and until next time.